One war nearly tore the United States apart. Another attack pulled it into the deadliest conflict in human history. A single purchase doubled the size of the nation. From the first airplane flight, to the first step on the moon, to a day in September that changed the country forever. These are the moments that didn't just make headlines. They built the United States we live in today. This is Top 10 Moments that Built Modern America. Number 10. Wright Brothers' First Flight. On a cold morning in North Carolina, two bicycle mechanics changed the world. Wilbur and Orville Wright launched a fragile wooden machine into the air for just 12 seconds. It did not fly far, it did not fly fast, but it proved something humanity had chased for centuries. Powered flight was possible. From that short hop at Kitty Hawk would come air travel, global trade, and modern warfare in the skies. The age of aviation had begun. Number 9. Birth of the World Wide Web. In the early 1990s, a quiet breakthrough began to reshape the world. At CERN, a scientist named Tim Berners-Lee created a system that allowed information to be linked and shared across computers anywhere on Earth. He called it the World Wide Web. Suddenly, knowledge, news, commerce, and communication could travel instantly across the globe. What started as a tool for researchers quickly became the foundation of the modern internet. Within a few decades, it would change how people learn, work, shop, and connect with each other. The digital age had begun. Number 8. The Apollo 11 moon landing. In July of 1969, the United States achieved something humanity had only imagined. After years of intense competition during the Cold War, a Saturn V rocket carried 3 astronauts toward the moon. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin descended to the lunar surface, while Michael Collins remained in orbit above. As millions watched around the world, Armstrong stepped onto the moon and delivered a line that would echo through history. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. For the first time, human beings had set foot on another world. Number 7. The Interstate Highway System. In the 1950s, the United States launched one of the largest infrastructure projects in history. President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed legislation creating a nationwide network of highways that would connect cities, states, and regions like never before. Construction crews began carving thousands of miles of roads across the country. The new highways made long-distance travel faster and safer, helped businesses move goods across the nation, and fueled the rapid growth of suburbs. The Interstate Highway System reshaped how Americans lived, worked, and moved across the country. Number 6. The New Deal. In the early 1930s, the United States faced the worst economic crisis in its history. Banks collapsed, businesses failed, and millions of Americans were suddenly out of work. When Franklin D. Roosevelt became president, his administration launched a sweeping set of programs known as the New Deal. The federal government began building dams, roads, and public works projects, while creating programs to stabilize banks and provide relief to struggling families. The New Deal permanently expanded the role of the federal government in American life. Number 5. The Civil Rights Act. In the 1960s, a growing movement demanded that the United States live up to its promise of equality. For decades, segregation laws had divided schools, businesses, and public life across much of the country. Civil rights leaders organized protests, marches, and campaigns calling for change. In 1964, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act, one of the most important laws in American history. The law outlawed segregation in public places and banned discrimination based on race, color, religion, or national origin. Number 4. The attack on Pearl Harbor. On a quiet Sunday morning in December of 1941, the United States was suddenly pulled into a global war. Japanese aircraft launched a surprise attack on the American naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Battleships were destroyed, aircraft were lost, and more than 2,000 Americans were killed. The following day, the United States declared war on Japan. Within days, the country was fully engaged in World War II, a conflict that would reshape the world. Number 3. The Louisiana Purchase. At the start of the 19th century, the United States was a small nation hugging the eastern edge of North America. In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson approved a deal that would transform the country's future. For $15 million, the United States purchased a vast territory from France. The acquisition instantly doubled the size of the nation and opened enormous lands for exploration, settlement, and expansion. The Louisiana Purchase laid the foundation for America's growth across the continent. Number 2. The September 11th attacks. On a clear September morning in 2001, the United States experienced one of the most devastating attacks in its history. Hijacked airplanes struck the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon near Washington, D.C. Nearly 3,000 people were killed. The attacks shocked the nation and triggered sweeping changes in American security, foreign policy, and military strategy. The United States soon entered a global war against terrorism that would shape the decades that followed. Number 1. The Civil War. In the spring of 1861, the United States faced the greatest crisis in its history. After years of tension over slavery and political power, war erupted between the northern and southern states. For 4 brutal years, Americans fought one another in battles that devastated towns, cities, and entire regions. When the war finally ended, the Union had been preserved and slavery had been abolished. The Civil War did more than decide a conflict. It determined the future of the United States itself. The United States was not built in a single moment. It was shaped by wars, discoveries, breakthroughs, and decisions that changed the course of history. From the Louisiana Purchase to the moon landing, from the Civil War to the digital age, these moments helped create the America we know today. If you enjoy exploring the turning points that shaped our world, make sure to subscribe and join us for the next countdown. Because history isn't just the past. We live history.